remarkable people, see if they could become something more, see if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could. Phil Coulson died still believing in that idea, in Hero. Well, it's an old-fashioned notion. There was an idea called the Avengers Initiative. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more, see if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could. Phil Coulson died still believing in that idea, in Hero. Well, it's an old-fashioned notion.
Alrighty, rock and roll. Well, thank you for joining us, Ramsey.
Well, thank you for having me, man.
So I know we were talking a little bit off topic before we got here, man. But I know we had a little mix up at the time. Still in Central Time, but things happen.
My fault, man. Yeah, I thought it was 8 o'clock, and I was like, oh man, I haven't gotten a link. What's happening? And then I was like, wait, let me look at the flyer because this has happened before, and sure enough, 8:30.
Right
now I know.
Yeah, eventually
they're like, well, the collectors did cancel me or what?
And I figured, I was like, oh, maybe something with work or maybe internet issues. And I was like, oh man, it's counting down, dude. And then I was like, you know what? Let me check the flyer. Yeah, 8:30.
Oh yeah, but you gotta love those internet issues sometimes.
So, yeah,
close to the chest, bro. So, thanks for joining us, man. Hey, so I know recently you came off of the Ultra Gaming Expo. So what were some of the highlights from the expo, man? Because I know Fred attended and it went really well. So
yeah, so we had about 3,000 people. Lowered it to 1 day. I think the last one was 2 days, and we did like 5,000 people. But just under 3,000 people for a 1 day show is pretty awesome. I think the only issue we really had was there's a wall that separates the two expo halls.
Yes.
And there was a home show next door, and they were blasting Tejano, dude. They had like live bands, dude. And so when they told me, they're like, hey, the door broke, so we're just gonna put up some curtains. I was like, all right, it's a home show, like it's pretty chill. Nah, man, they went hard, dude. They went real hard. So we got serenaded a bit, but other than that, it was awesome.
Nice, very cool. So what made you want to go from the 2 day to the 1 day? Was it just better expense wise, or just an easier transition?
Definitely expense wise. Coming off of Comic-Con, that was a rough with the storm and everything, and 3 days. I was just thinking, it's probably best to start it back up with 1 day. We hadn't done it since I think 2016 was the last time we did Gamers Expo. We had a lot of internet issues at the convention center, and really until they got them sorted out, I didn't want to do any shows there. We had to, in 2016, everything went great, except the Xboxes couldn't connect to Xbox Live because of some kind of block that they had on the internet. And there was nobody working the weekend to be able to unblock it. And so we had to move Halo to like Kaboom, and it was back at the old Kaboom. It was tiny. So we had like 50 people crammed in there competing at Halo, but at least we were able to have it. But after that, I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna, I don't know what they did to the internet, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. And now I met with them, I think right before the pandemic, we were gonna do the Gamers Expo, we were gonna bring it back. And I met with them, and we got everything situated and are able to really not have any problems with the internet connection anymore. So now we're good to go. And I don't know, what do y'all think? I guess anybody in the comments can let me know what they think, but I kind of like the 1 day show because it's a lot less stressful on me, but and I want to see how it grows. If it continues growing, eventually it could be a 3 day as well, but we'll have to see. Next one's scheduled for January 27th, so we're trying to be at the beginning of the year again like we originally were before.
Nice. So some of the comments that are coming in, we have watched the previous interview to prepare for today. What a great life story, Rams. So that's from,
Oh, thank you, man.
and then we have someone asking, how do you feel the bring Eduardo Garza, Luis Manuel, and the Spanish voice actor Comic Cons? Greetings, hugs, and blessings. Do you want to be more Spanish voice actors from Mexico to South Texas Comic Con?
Man, I love it. Actually, we in 2016 we had the Spanish voice of Goku, Mario Castañeda, and he was such a great guy. He had some wild stories about the cartel and Comic Cons in Mexico and them storming in and like stealing, taking all the money from the cash register, like crazy stuff. You know, and he was like, yeah, the guy's like, hey man, I'll have to pay you later. And he was like, that's fine, man, I understand. And then he's like, but you know, to that guy's credit, he did pay me. But yeah, man, I'd love to have more. It's the connections that I just don't have on that side. And there's some issues with, I guess, coming over here to work and then taking money back. And so when they come over to do small shows or store signings, you know, it's not as big of a problem. But yeah, when it's like a Comic-Con or something, there's more eyes on them. But we will have the Flux is bringing. They actually. So originally, Anime Fiesta was gonna be in October, and the convention center had something on those dates, like in-house, I don't know, meetings, city meetings or something. So they kicked us out of October to the beginning of September. And when that happened, I guess we landed on the Flux's dates that they had some Spanish voice actors coming as well. So he asked, hey man, can I buy space over there and have them sign there? And we've never really done anything like that before. Usually we want to have control of like the guests, you know, if something happens, they don't show up, you know, or, you know, whatever the case may be, like, I don't want to be liable for somebody else's, you know, issues. But I ended up, you know, saying, okay. And I said, look, we just can't announce them on our page. Like they're your guests at your booth, and we'll see how it works out. If you can keep it under control and stuff like that, I'm fine with that, but I can't announce them as our guests. But they supposedly will be there. The Flux and the Grid in Rio Grande, they'll be in their booth. If you want to check them out, definitely check out the Flux's pages and see who they'll have there. But yeah, they have three pretty good Spanish voice actors, some pretty big ones.
Nice, that's pretty cool. So speaking about Anime Fest and everything going on, so you know we're going into, you know, basically a month away from your convention here. So do you see like an increase of like sales when it comes to like your manga versus like your comics? Like, do your comics sell more closer to Comic-Con, or is it manga that sells all the time, or what do you see?
So I think for Kaboom, right now we definitely sell more comics than we do manga, but we've kind of cultivated that audience. Not to say that manga doesn't sell pretty well, but yeah, it's mainly more comics. At Anime Boom, on the other hand, where we don't have comics, man, they sell a ton of manga. It's hard to keep it in stock, and but I know definitely the stats are that manga is outselling comics, and I mean, you know, you can't beat it. $10 and you get like the whole story, a thick book, and it's in black and white, but it's cool, and you get to like read the whole not the whole thing, but at least you get further than like a 24-page comic. So I don't know, I you know, obviously I love comics and I'm a huge comic geek, but maybe there's something to learn there from you know, from the manga and how well it does, as far as I don't know, maybe monthly issues isn't gonna be, you know, the way of the future. We'll have to see. Maybe it's like every month there's a 5-issue trade paperback, and I you know, maybe rather pay $15 and get the whole 5-6 issue storyline that month, you know, than have to wait 5-6 months for it to come out. Hell, if they can put out like 4 Spider-Man, you know, issues every month for Amazing Spider-Man, they can, you know, definitely put together a 5-issue, 6-issue arc and put it out in 1 month. But I don't know. Well, we'll have to see.
What do you think about that? Because a lot of times I've seen it like where I'm buying like someone's collection or whatever it might be, and they'll just have like a mix, like 2, 3, 4, 5. They won't really have like the runs, and I'm like, how's that? Like that doesn't bother you? He's like, yeah, I read the comic book, but the story,
Yeah.
like you missed 1, you missed 3, you missed 7. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel
And
about that? Because like for me, it tells a better story that way,
yeah, it's tough because as a store, and you don't know how many to order, how many are gonna sell, right? And so you don't want to have a ton of backstock left over. So every month it's a gamble, and you know that more people are gonna pick up issue 1 than are gonna pick up issue 4. So anytime a new series starts, go heavy on number 1, a little bit less on number 2, because people tend to drop out. Like they'll just get it. There's collectors that only pick it up, just to put it in a bag and put it away and never read it. And then there's a few who will, continue reading, and it might be a good series, it might be a terrible series, and they're like, I'll rather get something else, and then they drop it. So unfortunately, yeah, that's the tough part. But if they were to put out basically, like, say, Amazing Spider-Man, for example, if they were to put out a graphic novel every month, a graphic novel of 5 to 6 issues collected, that might be, and the only way to get it is, through that trade paperback. But I think, I don't know if that, obviously I'm not Marvel, but I don't know if that model works financially for them, because what they do is they make their money on the comics. And then 5 months later, they'll pull out the trade paperback for less, right? And then, but they already made their money on the comics. So every time they reprint it, they're just kind of, hey, making more off that storyline. So I don't know. And Marvel likes money, so that might not happen. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that when it comes to like Marvel and DC's, like they're always thinking about, okay, what's the better way of them making more money, especially when it comes to their comic book illustration wise. And then of course, like the trade paperback is just their main sources of like, okay, just getting extra money on top of that. Versus
exactly.
With manga, yeah, like they're it's a little bit more bigger, you get more story into it, which a lot of people like. But of course, sometimes you're waiting months in advance.
Yeah.
It's like, there was one book I was reading into, and it took me like 5 years to complete it. And that's just only for like a 26 volume story.
Wow.
And
yeah.
It took me a long time to finally finish and get to the conclusion. So it's one of those things, like, it's how long people are willing to wait on certain storylines. Like, like say, and they say, but Marvel is badass because it's month to month, and you get the newest book maybe you can every month, versus a manga reader, it could take
it takes a while
longer. So it's just one of those things, like how much patience can someone do it? And even then, like, it's not like, and like even like with manga illustrators, most of them are only like they're either by themselves or like a small team.
Yeah,
it's not like Marvel and DC. Marvel and DC has like a collective of like illustrators, writers, storyboarders, everything. So it's like one of those things that they can do so much more in months' time.
Yeah, for sure. And now they all move towards like when I was a kid, you'd buy X-Men or Spider-Man, and the beginning of the issue, this is the beginning of the story. The end of the issue, it was resolved, so you got it all in one shot, so and there might have been like another, little hints dropped for, to keep people coming back. But nowadays, almost all the stories are 5 to 6 issues, because Marvel wants that trade paperback at the end to be able to reprint and reprint. So now, you're waiting 5 months before, 6 months before the end of the story. Actually, and so like with Amazing Spider-Man, now it's coming out, or at least up until recently, I'm not too sure, I haven't checked recently, but it's coming out every week. So that's basically 4 issues a week. So they could do one more issue, within that time, and just release a trade paperback. That would be one story, right? And then it could be dropping hints towards volume 2, right? But that would be a complete story. So I think that's where the edge would be over manga, is that we don't have to wait for the Japanese creators to create it and then have it translated and then have it over here printed. And there might be like rules to where, hey, like when we print it in Japan, you have to wait a year before you print it in America, or all that kind of stuff, and they could bypass that. But I don't know if the money is there for them to want to do it. And Marvel and DC, really don't care about the collector or really the reader sometimes. They're in it to make money, and they have no idea and probably don't care about the aftermarket or about sometimes our experience as readers. And so I think that would be amazing, but I don't see them doing that because they want to make the money twice.
Oh yeah, and I completely agree with you on that, because it's one of those things that Marvel and DC they're just now becoming more money hungry, and especially Marvel's owned by Disney, and then DC is owned by Warner Brothers. So it's like whatever they could do to pump money out, they're gonna do it. It's like versus like Japanese illustrators and manga, they can take their time. Because they know their fan base will wait for it, and of course they'll pay whatever they need to be. But their readers are willing to wait versus Marvel and DC. They just want to see a quick turnaround.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had some of the comments coming in saying from Adam Looper, "Hey Ramsey, how you doing, my friend?"
Hey Adam.
We've got Torres coming in with, how's the Kickstarter for your comic started? You want to give us an update when you can? So how's that going with the Kickstarter, bro? Did you get it going or?
No, I was supposed to have it. I was supposed to, like, right after Comic-Con start working on that. And unfortunately, we decided to really expand our going to conventions with Kaboom and doing these other things that it keeps getting in the way and it keeps getting shoved back. But I mean, it's there. It's done. It's been done for a while. I just, I need to do all the publicity stuff, all the marketing, all the promo videos and things like that to build up the hype for it. And I haven't made time. And so I had about a month leeway to be able to do that. I'm not gonna lie, I slept late a lot as well right after Comic-Con. But I was waking up at like 11. I could have probably woken up at 6 a.m. and been like, all right, I'm gonna devote 4 hours to the Kickstarter. But that month went like that, and then by 2 months out, I already have to start ordering all this stuff for Anime Fiesta and working on that. But I will for sure have it by the next Comic-Con for sure. I want to have a booth there and really promote it. Maybe have a variant cover that goes into the VIP boxes or things like that, and no extra charge, just to get some collectibles out there. And that's the plan is still there. Just things keep getting in the way. And then we've been going to more conventions out of town, trying to build a convention team that can do 2 or 3 shows a weekend. And we can send one to Oklahoma, one to Vegas, and one here to Austin or whatever, wherever the cons are. And so that's what I'm trying to build right now. I was between starting another store in another city or building out the convention stuff, and decided to go for that one for now before we open.
Yeah, because you guys were at Superhero Car Show and then also at Corpus Christi Comic Con just past.
Yep. So that's what's been happening. But it's there. It's man, maybe I should just send out free PDFs to everybody at this point.
I gotta be that guy, bro. I know you guys were doing the cons out of the city, but did you guys recover the trailer or no?
Hell no, dude. Pinche Corpus. Damn, bro.
I had to be that guy, bro. I'm sorry. I don't want to open up old wounds, man.
For those that might not know, our trailer got stolen from I don't know, one of the Corpus shows, and they took it. $6,000 gone. It was a big black Ford truck, and I'm gonna fine you, dude, one of these days. I'm gonna steal my trailer back and any other trailers you have there.
I'm down.
But no, we're doing U-Hauls, man. I'm tired of this. Is my 3rd trailer that's gotten stolen, dude. I'm tired of buying trailers for other people, dude. I'm a U-Hauler from now on, I think.
Nice. We have Hell in the comments saying, I hope Mr. Ramsey to bring some more stars to Comic-Con, please, like Peyton List, Jessica from Cobra Kai, Steve from Blue's Clues. Oh, Who
Steve from Blue School.
I just got a letter, bro. Frankie Muniz, Zachary Levi, and anybody
Miranda
that be with you?
Cosgrove.
Or
Cool.
Haley Steinfeld. So, any plans on? I mean, I know we're gonna talk about it later, but have you kind of looked at the lineup? What you want to bring for Comic-Con yet? Or
Yeah, right now we are have like the wish list, and it always starts with a wish list,
Of course.
and we go down, and it's like available, not available, too early, hit us up in a couple months. It's we go picking them off and see who's actually available, and really their schedules is what dictates, who comes. Also budget. We're not like we're not superhero car show. Like those guys are multimillionaires. That dude, all the cars, you all saw all the cars that he had, dude. There, the Batmobile, all that stuff. He owns all those. Those are all his cars, dude.
yeah,
You
so
know?
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I messaged him to get him on the podcast. Unread, bro. Unread for like a week. I was like, damn, I know where I stand.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're multimillionaires. And so they can afford the, Tobey Maguires and the, Andrew Garfields and, all those people. So we're not there yet. And we're trying to grow it in a way that's one, exciting, but two, that isn't going to break us, and then that's going to be the last show because we're too ambitious with who we're going to bring, These actors are, these big actors are $400,000-$500,000 or more, for 5 hours of their time. So it's not something that a Ramsey can afford. Superhero car show can swing it, but we're not there yet. We need a I think maybe double the attendance or more before we can get to that level. And it's not like San Diego or New York Comic-Con where it's in their contract that they have to go because the studio is promoting a movie. Like San Diego and New York, they get all those things for free, basically, because they have to go to promote the movies to those two shows. Those are the two biggest shows. So yeah. we're in the kind of mid-sized con, area. Not that we'll never have them. I'm sure we will, eventually. But yeah, we're not even at year 10 yet, and but yeah, give us some time and we'll get there. And
it's just one of those
Hemsworth and The Rock and all those guys.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's like I understand. Yes, that South Texas Comic Con is pretty much one of the biggest cons that we have here in the Valley. But of course, it's one of those things that you still can't compare yourself to someone that can bring out more money than anything else. Because yes, you can bring out some pretty interesting guests. Because you do have some amazing guests, especially the lineup for Anime Fiesta. It's an amazing lineup. I think probably one of your best ones right now that I've seen so far. But of course, you also have to play it smart, play it right, play it to a way that you can still continue doing these shows year after year after year. Versus okay, I want to go. The way you said, you go balls out, and next thing you know, you're over. You're done.
Yeah, and then and it's happened with shows before where they get a big guest and they think, oh, the big guest is all I need, and the people will come, and it's not like that, And then all of a sudden you can't pay the guests, and you burned your bridges with all the agents, and no one's gonna send you anybody, So we get what we can afford, and we've been able to kind of grow that way, and hopefully you guys kind of understand and keep coming and help us get there.
Yeah, it's funny because
don't want to be that Arnold Schwarzenegger experience.
Right? Yeah, that was painful for that con, dude. They were like, oh, we bring Arnold Schwarzenegger, everyone's gonna come, and it didn't work that way, and then what happened? Where did they go? So it's I think they still do. I mean, that one show isn't around anymore, but I think they still do some shows.
No, yeah, but you wouldn't doubt that it hurt them pretty bad.
Yep.
So Ramsey, with all that going on, do you think now that we see a lot of little conventions, right? So pretty much in the Valley we have the three now. We have Ultra Game Expo that came back. We have South Texas Comic Con, kind of the centerpiece of it. Then we have Anime Fiesta coming in the rear right now.
Mhm.
What about these little shows? Do you feel like they like oversaturate a lot of those conventional markets? Not to diss anybody or anything like that, but
Mhm.
do you think it actually hurts the market more or hurts the customer base more? They lose trust in like the bigger conventions, or what's your take on that?
Um, I think the only problem is just that people think all the shows are mine, you know, and and if a show goes bad, they're like, "Oh, your show went terrible." I was like, "Well, that's not even my show," you know. It's kind of differentiating um, whose shows are whose, you know. But as far as the amount of shows that are gonna happen, like I'm surprised more shows didn't happen sooner after we started. Like I knew going into it that there was gonna be a lot of shows, a lot of small shows popping up, and that's fine. I was just at one the other day, a couple of weeks ago, looking for keys. So I found like a first Spider Gwen and a first Silk, 1 in 25 variant comic.
Nice.
So I mean, I go to them too. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. It's like we opened an anime store that was all anime themed, and it was the only one for a little while, and now there's 10. It's just the way of the world. And if they can make it work, they can make it work. It's not, it doesn't necessarily, I think, take away from what we do. Will there be like superhero fatigue? Eventually, probably. You know, but we're still gonna keep trying to do what we do
Yeah. I just
and
gotta
make
feel
sure
like
that we do that we make sure that people have a good time with us. That's all we can really do. And so if another show doesn't go well, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. Like they have their own money, they have their own whatever, and I had nothing to do with it, but somehow I get the blame when a show goes wrong. They're like, oh, it's Ramsey's fault. Like, what did I do? I didn't even go to the show. Like, what do you? Maybe that's why, because I didn't go to the show and give you the money. I don't know.
that's great.
But no, there's some good shows out there, like Pokefest. Have y'all done Pokefest?
Oh yeah,
Y'all
we
do it
done
every
it.
year?
I think we did it the year prior, but we didn't do it this year because we were over there at car show.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so
that
it's
was one of the
like,
ones that we did
yeah.
both, and that was a tricky one. But
Yeah, it's like that one. I knew it was like, okay, it was either like we do car show and Pokefest close the shop, or we keep the shop open and go to car show. And it was one of those things. I'm like, okay, I had to be at the shop. Like, there was no way I could keep the store closed, because I still, even when we do conventions, because we're at South Comic Con, and we still have people want to come to our shop, and we're like, okay, like we're already planning for next year. We're not gonna close. Like, no,
yeah, for sure.
We can't afford that.
We used to have to close Old Kaboom when we were starting out. It would be like, hey, for the weekend we'd have a sign, catch us at Comic-Con, catch us at HorrorCon, because we just didn't have the staff to be able to to have people there. So I get it. But yeah, then you're missing out with people that are coming to the store, and they lose faith in you if you're not open the hours you say that you're going to be there.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's like we had to decide, because I wanted to, like anyone else, I wanted to go see Andrew Garfield, but I chose to stay behind. It was one of those things, like sometimes especially as being store owners, we have to make decisions, especially make sure to keep our customers happy, and so on and so forth.
Of course. And what do you guys think? You think there's oversaturation, or with the amount of shows that are happening?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is, there's enough room for everybody, but you have to have progressive growth. Like, if you go just, that balls to the wall saying, right, I'm going to get a guest, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Do you really care about the money, or do you care about the experience? I'd rather have a good experience with or without a guest, because to me, it's the quality that we deliver.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't want to oversaturate with bad quality. I'd rather have no star, no talent, and just run a good show, good vendors, people make money. If I'm going to charge $200 for a table, I'm basically saying, like, I guarantee you're going to make at least $200. That's my commitment to you as an organizer for that. But then I just feel like some of the shows are like, we're just going to do it. And, they do it. It should be easy. That's my favorite line, right? If they can do it, I can do it. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's a whole other like scaling to it. But that's just what I think about the whole situation with everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always going to be another show, whether it's here, whether it's, upstate, whether it's right next door. There's always going to be another show, and
Of course.
you can't really help that. Once something is proven, people are going to jump on it. Once they say, oh yeah, this can work here, well, let me try. And and the good ones will stick around. So am I mad about it? No. Like I don't even like worry about what other people are doing. I don't know. I think people think that I'm over here like how can I foil them? Like nah, not at all. Like I don't even think about it, like other than maybe going to one. You know what I mean? I remember one show was like, I wanted this guest, and I heard it second or third hand. So I did it happen? I don't know, but they were like, I wanted this guest, and I didn't get him. Ramsey must have told the agent not to give him to me.
Jesus Christ.
or maybe you have an unproven show, and you haven't built up the trust to where they give them to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it could have been that, but automatically it's like Ramsey must have called him up and said, hey man, no, don't give him that. Whatever, dude. So yes, I don't do that. I don't call people and say, hey, don't do this, don't work with this people. Vendors always ask me, hey man, I want to do this show, but it's in your area, but I don't want to burn bridges with you. And I tell them, do whatever show you want, dude. I'm not gonna block you from my show. But if you're talking bad about us, pretending to be my friend, and then to my face being something else, or if you're selling counterfeit stuff, I'm gonna have to block you out of my show. If you we had an issue with a vendor who, oh my God, it was like 4 shows. I was like, dude, you gotta stop selling fake stuff. Well, I don't know what is fake. I was like, come on, dude. Like, you can tell they photocopied like a beat up box, and the beat upness is printed on the box of that Funko. Like, it's not even like naturally beat up. It was printed that way. Come on, don't tell me, and so we've had to block some people, but other than that, just
which is funny,
nice.
because I think that's the first time you asked us one time to verify a pop. A few years back.
No, that was not the one. But yes, I did ask you one time. I was like, hey, dude, what do you think, dude? It looks real, but I just don't know. And you're like, fake, But yeah, there's no. It was from before then, and we ended up at that point we had already blocked people out just because people start leaving reviews and they're like, man, everything there is fake. Don't buy anything. These people don't care. And it's like, okay, well, how do we police, 100 vendors with 10,000 products each, It's not like we have a counterfeit detector, but we do what we can. And if we spot it and we warn you and you don't, stop doing it, yeah, we're going to not allow you back. There's, a 300 person or vendor wait list on our show. We just, don't prioritize you if you're going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, don't sell fake shit. Can I say that?
Basically, just don't do that.
Yeah, you're good. It's a rated M show. We're good. We're good.
And then there's the ones that that like to I don't know, man. Like I get accused of a lot of stuff, man, and I'm just like, why are you out there spreading lies? That I blocked somebody from going to your show or this and that, like when or malicious things. There's some that one show that was telling everybody Chuck Norris didn't come. He's not coming. Like, he didn't make it into town. Trust us. We have it on good authority. And they were telling all the workers at GameStop, they were putting it all online, just to be a-holes, dude. And it's like, okay. And you think I'm going to give you, which obviously Chuck Norris was here.
Yeah.
They just were just being haters. And you think I'm going to give you a chance to come back into the show after spreading lies. And it was a malicious thing. It wasn't like an accidental thing or they misunderstood, they knew what they were doing. So people like that get blocked out and, you reap what you sow. You put out good karma, you get good stuff. You put out bad karma. And I'm not saying I believe in karma, but if you do bad things to people, versus good things. The good things are definitely gonna get you further. You do bad things to people, they're gonna want to do bad things to you. You know, that's just kind of how the karma works, I think. But as far as that goes, like all I do is like, okay, you know, sorry, you can't be at my show if you're gonna be, you know, malicious to my business, you know, and those are really only two reasons we block anybody.
Hey, I gotta ask, bro. How long is that list? Is it like 3 pages, 4 pages, or
the block list? Nah, it's like 3-4 people, but they're very loud, very disgruntled.
I had to ask that one. Okay, just curiosity.
It's really only like four vendors, you know, all local, of course. You know, all the people that come from out of town, you know, don't you know, play like that. They do this for a living, you know.
They were the Valley people.
You know, and then they're like, oh, but you know, my business depends on this show. I was like, so why are you out there saying this stuff, you know? Anyway, and then they get caught red-handed and they don't know what to say. But anyway, so that's the only time I bust out the band hammer.
The band hammer.
Yeah, it's only like the list is only like 4 people. It's not that big.
I mean, you would think it'd be longer with all the years in business, man, but that's not too bad, right?
Yeah, no, just 4, and it's just like, and it's like after like, how many warnings can I give somebody, dude? It's like, okay, step on me again. Okay, you know, hey, I know you stepped on me. Please stop, you know? And it's just like, okay, how many times can I tell you before it's like, okay, yeah, I'm done, you know? I'm done giving you chances.
So you give them more than 3 times, I'm assuming then.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm super chill, dude. I'm super chill. I'm easy to get along with. You know, I don't hold grudges. I don't get mad easily. You know, it's just like, yeah, dude, like how many times are you gonna slap me and say, oh, oops? You know,
it was an accident. My bad.
So, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not a hard guy to get along with. Just, you know, don't act shady. That's all it is. You know.
So from the ban list that's coming from South Texas Comic Con. So what kind of inspired you to do the Anime Fiesta start? Like, what was the turning point of, you know what, I want to focus more on an anime show than, let's say, a pop culture show or whatever else you might have going on?
So I had done in October something called Fan Weekend, and it was the first time we had Ron Perlman down. Excuse me. And I've always wanted to do like multiple shows, you know, in one year. But it was basically just another Comic-Con. And so it wasn't as well attended, I think, because there was a flood. It was that time that the flood hit Houston and all that area and kind of decimated all that part of Texas. So a lot of people were asking for refunds. A lot of vendors couldn't make it. We were refunding them. You know, obviously their vans were flooded or their houses were gone, you know. So it could have been that as well. We had a great lineup. Ron Perlman, we had the Blue Power Ranger, we had Rey Mysterio Jr. We had a really good lineup. But going back to fatigue, I was like, okay, you know, if all 3 of the shows that I want to do are Comic Cons, you know, that's a little overkill, right? So I had already done the Gamers Expo before that and had toured around between a sci-fi show and an anime show, and just decided on anime. We had just opened Anime Boom. You know, we were like high on anime. I mean, you know, I was back in it. I was watching anime all over again. I was like, man, this is like high school all over again, dude. Like first time I watched Akira or Ninja Scroll or any of those awesome shows. And I was just like, I want to try my hands at an anime con. And the idea was I was gonna do it in different cities. But according to the agents, I made it look too easy, and so then everybody started doing it in the other cities. So
Interesting.
So
Okay.
they're like, too late, and I slept on it too. They were like, hey, dude, Houston and this market and that market, and they were really wanting us to go to these other markets. The agents were the ones pushing me, and I was like, hey, chill, man. Like, you know, like I'm still, you know, not sure how many shows I want to do. I want to be stressed out 24/7, 365 days a year, or do I want like a month or two rest between each show, But I waited too long, and now everybody's got anime shows, and well, that's just how it goes. But I mean, Anime Fiesta is definitely right up there with Comic-Con as far as attendance now. And now I just got to build Gamers Expo up to that. I think with consistency on that one, we'll get it there.
Yeah, because this is the first year that it's now a 3-day show now, right?
Yeah, because I mean last year, and I hope people aren't thinking they're gonna go on Saturday and be able to meet all 17 guests.
Oh hell no.
Last year we had 7 guests, and that
Dude.
was not.
Oh, dude, no. I was there. I was there last year. 'Cause I went to go get a signature from Amelie, which I'm actually very grateful. You guys actually brought her down. Favorite VTuber, love her to death.
Awesome.
I'm very grateful for you guys bringing her down. Dude, holy hell, Sean Chevalier.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ,
Insane.
dude. That was insane. And I wouldn't doubt it's gonna be again this year.
Yeah. And so the hope is by adding that Friday that we can spread out, even if the same amount of people come. I just hope they're spread out more, and they understand that, hey, like, Saturday's going to be packed. So why don't you try to come on Friday to get those autographs, when the lines are going to be shorter and it's going to be a lot more reasonable, And
no, trust me.
And then hopefully a big chunk get them on Friday so that Saturday and Sunday aren't as packed. And that's the hope, right? Or at least that people think, okay, maybe I should go for 2 or 3 days, and spread it out over it. But, people are going to go on Saturday and just.
Oh, yeah. It's like with any Comic-Con. It's like people like, okay, I'm going to wait till Saturday because it's a weekend. I'm off. I want to go get everything done on that day. It's like literally worst mistake you could probably do because like it's always a busy on Saturday no matter what. Yeah. And, the same thing with us because, like, sadly, we we missed getting a table for you guys for Anime Fiesta, but I'm still going to go as a, consumer. It's like 5
y'all didn't get
I want to go. Nah, sadly, I think when we got the email, it was already sold out.
Oh, damn, man. Yeah, it sold out. Like, the vendor said that it sold out like in 5 minutes or something ridiculous like that. But
yeah, I think by the time we saw the email, when we clicked it, it was sold out. And we're like, well, we can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
maybe somebody will cancel. We'll get you. We'll be able to get you.
Yeah, well, cancellation. Hit us up, man.
I'm for sure. But yeah, it's I mean, the impetus to start it was I love all this stuff. I love anime. Don't hate me, but I've probably only watched like 3 or 4 episodes of Dragon Ball. But see,
me too.
So
you beat David. You beat David.
And but everything else, I started watching Super. I bought like the Blu-ray of, I don't know, the first 13 episodes and stuff. Maybe about 3-4 years ago, right? Maybe 2018 or something like that. I barely started watching Dragon Ball, but I just, by the time it was coming out on Cartoon Network, I already had kids. I was already working 2 jobs and all that stuff, man. So I had to give it up a little bit. Boo this man. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Hey, I see Chris Ponce in there. Yo, what's up, Chris? How you doing?
Chris? That's good. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Yeah, boo this man. I don't watch a lot of anime, bro. I just started watching My Hero episode 1. I just finished episode 1.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that's it. Like,
My Hero's great. My Hero's great. Attack on Titan, I think I got to like season 2.5 or something. Wasn't there like a half season or something? Or season 2 was split into 2 halves.
Dude, don't get me started on
or
ALT,
something.
Dude. I fucking hate that they split season 3 to so many different parts.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get me wrong, animation quality is phenomenal. Great show, great animation. But you're milking it worse than fucking Dragon Ball Goku versus Frieza arc.
It's like Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's see how long we can keep people coming back to the theater.
Yeah, no shit.
That's true. So with Anime Fiesta starting with that part, what's the most challenging part for Anime Fiesta? I mean, you just talked about having, extending the crowd a little bit, right? Kind of thinning it out, making it 3 days. What's been the most challenging part so far with this beginning of the show?
I mean, just the logistical stuff. There's a lot of moving parts, and not a lot of us working on it. Most of the time, it's just me and Marla and my sister, and we're like, between us three, trying to plan everything, and all the work that I don't want to do, unfortunately, falls on Marla. So sorry, babe. But like all the really logistical planning stuff for like getting celebrities here and booking their flights and all that kind of stuff, luckily I have a Marla to do that for me, but there's a lot of moving parts. Vendors is another area where it's tough. Like, people were upset that we sold out, and they were like, well, why did you do it that way? One vendor wrote to us and they were like, we're very, very disappointed that it was like the Hunger Games, and we don't like that style of because we're like, hey, we apologize. We're like, sorry, hopefully, you try again next time. And they're like, I don't think I will, because I don't like that style of Hunger Games style vendor sales. And I was like, Hunger Games style? What do you want us to do? Like there was 200 people that qualified, as vendors. And we just said, hey guys, everybody here in this list, if you met all the qualifications, you qualified, the booths are going to go on sale on this date, right? And then they sold out, but also half the booths were already bought, because at the end of the show, a lot more people are reserving their booth for next year. And they're like, hey, I have the money right now. Let me just save it. It was a good show. I know I made money. It's part of my, tour. And it's a lot of out-of-town people, especially, who do this for a living and like travel every weekend. They're like, hey, that's already paid for next year. I know I have my spot, And so every year there's less and less spots available to sell.
Yeah,
and that's just how it goes. We're not intentionally trying to make it a Hunger Games situation,
No,
it's
because,
just,
it's because we do that too, like especially for Southside Comic-Con. That's our yearly con.
Yeah.
As soon as we end the day, automatically we're waiting in line, paying for the spot right there and then, because we don't want to miss it.
Exactly. And so that's happening more and more with Comic-Con. I think this year we only had like 30 booths left. So again, people weren't able to get in and they were upset. And, we only have so much space until they build us a second floor or a bigger convention center, or, make some covered areas outside. That's what we have down here. What are the qualifications? Miguel Garza is asking. It's basically one, you get prioritized if you sell pop culture stuff, right? That's qualification one. If we have too many insurance companies or people trying to sell you cars or all this other stuff, that doesn't add to the experience for us, right? So we have a couple spaces reserved for that. So first you got to have, pop culture stuff. 2, you can't sell counterfeits. 3, since Anime Fiesta is a family show and a lot of kids go, there's been a rise in like lewd art, boobs out everywhere and legs, all over. And so, we're kind of not prioritizing that right now, just because we've had moms complain like, hey, I love bringing my kids here, but, and we used to say, hey, put Post-its on it, right? But then the Post-its fall off or they just don't do it. And again, how do we police, 100 vendors with 10,000 items each? It's tough. So things like that. The second thing is pops are obviously very popular.
Ramsey?
We can't have every vendor.
I think we're losing you on some Wi-Fi here, bro.
I think we're losing you, Ramsey. Oh, there you go.
Are? Is it my
there
fault?
you go.
Dang.
I don't want to be that guy, bro, but you connected to the...
For like a quick.
You connected to the Starbucks internet, or what's going on? No, I'm supposed to.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, was it? Oh shit! I think we lost him again.
Please don't ban me. Please don't ban me. I just made a small joke. I promise.
Hey, how is it? How is it going?
Oh, there you go. You didn't hear me talking
okay.
smack, right?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So, I switched to like my hotspot and see if that works. So it was my internet that went out.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I believe
Okay.
so, because your video just like cut off like completely.
Yeah, you froze.
Okay. Okay, cool. So anyway, so we can't have 100 pop vendors. So we limit it to like 10, 15 pop vendors, if that's what the majority of it's going to be. And then we want a certain amount of comic vendors, if any apply. So we try to make it a well-rounded show that really has a little bit of everything, you know? And for anime, obviously, those are different requirements and stuff. You know, it's an anime show, so we need anime products and anime, you know, vendors there. So each one has different qualifications like that. But basically, those are kind of the off the top of my head, the main ones.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We have Adam asking, you're gonna have Picos so whatever return? Are you gonna have Picos, bro? It's like the best part of the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they were here for Comic-Con. I don't know. I don't handle the vendors part aspect of it anymore. I had to like hand that over to somebody else in the staff because I don't. It's too much. It's too much for one person at this point. And hopefully, I know they were there for Comic-Con, and hopefully they'll be back. I want to say yes, but not sure. Not sure. It also depends, you know. Did they apply? Do they have another show that day? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Even now, as long as you have your bubble tea, will be fine. Because I know last
bubble
year
tea
good.
will definitely be there for sure.
Nice. Very cool, very cool. So when it comes to Comic-Con and Anime Fest, I noticed that you had a lot of involvement from V1 Tech. So I kind of messed up myself. You know, I went on a V1 Tech like spiral. Like I just started clicking and clicking and clicking
Worst
and
you could have
clicking.
done, David. Worst mistake you could have done.
Yeah, bro.
They're nice.
I was yeah. So what? How did you were able to get such a great sponsor? I know they sponsor a lot of different conventions from what I've been seeing.
Yeah,
so
they've been vendors with us for quite a while now, and they do really well at our shows. So they wanted to be a bigger part of it, and so they reached out to us, and they're like, "Hey, what sponsorship opportunities do you have?" You know, and so we sent them all the available things that we had, and they're like, "We want the top one," and we're like, "All right, let's go." You know, that means you're on everything. You're on our videos, you're on your logos on the top of our logo and stuff like that. And that's really what helps us bring 17 guests versus like 10 guests, you know, things like that. So definitely when y'all are at the show, make sure to stop on by the V1 Tech booth, man. Those things are so damn cool.
No, yeah, no. I had to stop myself because there were so many things I saw. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna declare bankruptcy in a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they do sponsor a lot of shows out there that they do well at, and then they have a competitor that sponsors the other ones, and so there's a I guess I don't know. I've seen them at what was that anime show called? It was at the Kalahari, like near Austin or Round Rock, and so V1 Tech had sponsored that one as well. But yeah, they're great people. They always like bring the presence, dude. Like that booth is like, I don't know, 20 stories tall with art all the way to the top, you know. Yeah. So yeah, and they're great people. So we love them.
What's very, very cool.
I just saw this comment, David. I'm not sure who it was.
As mentioned about lewd art, there are still plenty of vendors and artists in LA that get in the show. What about them? As lewd artists myself, Comic-Con Anime Fiesta is a goal to sell at.
Yeah, and so we don't completely like take out all the artists. You know, it just like is your stuff 100% lewd. You know, that makes it tough on us because how do we know? You know, as a family show, and then not just a family show, the convention center and its community standards, you know, they're starting to crack down on us, you know, with, hey, watch those cosplays. So now we got to put up cosplay rules, like how much can they show, you know? And it's one of those things where you know, we can get kicked out, you know, if the city of McAllen, who, you know, already, you know, puts dinosaurs all over our shows sometimes, you know, if they don't like what's happening there, we have to kind of, you know, play it safe sometimes. So unfortunately, you know, if it's a few things here and there, no problem, you know. You just have to make sure to cover them, and we don't always have the personnel to go and check, you know. But
it's just one of those things that you have to think about like this. When it comes to, and Ramsey's point of view, it's something like he can't stop the city to tell him what to do. You know, every city has their ordinance, has their own styles of what can be shown, what can be not shown. You know, it's like, yes, it's primarily a family show. That's the way McAllen wants it. Also, it's a goal that Ramsey wants to do it. Yes. Yeah. There are people that will like it. There are buyers that will purchase it, because trust me, I'm one of those myself. But there's a place and time for them. There's conventions that are getting made that are for that.
Exactly.
It's one of those things that's just Comic-Con. It is a big show.
And how
it's not a show for that right now.
How the cities allow that, you know, that's more power to them, because man, you know, the second there's a, you know, a butt cheek showing. Yeah, we're in trouble, you know. we gotta cut that clip from the video. Those are the issues that we're facing, you know. And as it's gotten bigger, there's more heat on us. The city of McAllen is very protective of their image, right? Mm-hmm. And since we're, if not the biggest show, one of the biggest shows in this city, you know, they look at us with a strict eye. So we want to make sure to keep basically all the relationships, you know, happy, I guess. And so, unfortunately, Eden, that's one of the realities, is that it's getting, you know, really tough, or they're getting really tough on us on what we allow there, because at the end of the day, you know, there are ordinances against, you know, a lot of that stuff. There was several years ago, a vendor who wanted a stripper pole in his booth. And, you know, and when I told him, sorry, the city said no, you know, he sued me. He's tried to sue me, you know. So, you know, for breach of contract, but the contract never said anything about a stripper pole, you know. And so I got my lawyer on it, and, you know, it got thrown out because it was a real ridiculous, like the thing was written hilariously.
How can you put a stripper pole on a
and the convention center was like, no way is there gonna be a stripper pole there. I don't care if the girls are fully naked, are fully like clothed. No. You know, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know.
Right.
And so I just couldn't do it. And of course, like, you know, all the heat's on me, right? But fact of the matter is, the city, you know, has ordinances. They decide. We're there at their, you know, I guess good graces, you know, like so we gotta tippy toe around some of these things. So we're limited as to what we can and can't do. If it's, you know, moderate and it's covered, okay, you know. But if it's like the whole booth is like that, the city is really gonna come down on us, and also the moms and all that. So it's tough. I know that's a big part of it. I know people love it. I mean, the art is amazing, you know, sometimes, you know, not always, you know, but a lot of the art, I'm just so impressed with it, you know.
It has some very big, beautiful eyes. That's all I have to say.
So that's the predicament that we're in, you know. So I know people depend on shows like that, but I know there's like upstate, there's like etchy fests and stuff that, like, it's all lewd, you know, and I don't know if they're like in the county or something where the county doesn't care, you know. The county will let you sell puppies on the side of the road. They don't give a shit. You can sell whatever on the side of the road. They don't care, right? But the city, you know, the city won't let you. So, but yeah.
That's funny. That's hard facts there for sure. Yeah. So, kind of wrapping up everything. So, what are your big plans for South Texas Comic-Con? Do you want to share anything? Do you have any big names that you already gotten off that wish list, or
none that I can say yet? Like there's things in play. I will say that. But there's still a lot of what ifs. What if filming comes up? What if, or there's an appearance somewhere else in the country and we can't say anything yet because it might affect attendance, in, who knows, in Indiana or something. So there's things that we got to look at. Really can't say, but we're obviously going for the bigger, bestest, South Texas Comic-Con. Hopefully no storms this year. Full power. I'm hoping we're not running on backup generators on the main day, But even if we are held, like we'll make it happen. But yeah, other things that we were, I guess, moving towards this year until the storm destroyed the park was we're gonna try to have live music outside all day. We're gonna have vendors out there all day. But then all the trees were downed and they were out there cutting them with chainsaws trying to move them out, so people wouldn't get hurt, and that wasn't able to happen to its full capacity. We still had that fireworks show, which was probably the best fireworks show I've ever seen in real life.
Is the outdoor event still like a plan for you for next year?
Yes. So the plan is to expand that and have more things to do outside. I know it's hot, so we're working with the city to see what we can do about that. They have tarps that they can put up. They have things they can do. But yeah, I mean, if it's cool enough, if whatever we put outside is cool enough, people will go there. Look at San Diego Comic-Con. They have like insane things. Obviously, we're not at that level, but people are out there in the heat waiting in line for those things outside the convention. So that's the plan, is to try to start expanding outside, making more room, making more attractions on the outside, and hopefully expand that way until we're able to get a bigger convention center from the city.
Nice. So, with Anime Fest coming up, so what days, what times, and what's going on?
With the what?
Anime Fest, or I'm sorry, Anime Fiesta. What dates, times?
Oh, so Anime Fiesta is September 8th, 9th, and 10th. So we're 3 days this time. And please, 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 some of you guys, come on Friday to get your autographs, because you're not going to get them all on Saturday, all right?
I'm telling you now. No, I'm definitely going Friday.
I'm telling you now. Come on Friday. Come multiple days. Spread out what you're going to do over those 3 days, because if you think you're going to go on Saturday like you did in 2019 and be able to get all the guests, is not going to happen. Those lines to meet the guests are going to be long. Spread it out over 2 or 3 days, or come on Friday, and you'll have a better chance of meeting everybody you want to meet. Obviously, we have different attractions, different after parties each day, different panels each day. So there's a lot more to do than just meet the guests as well. All the live panels change from day to day. So sometimes we'll have certain, My Hero ones on this day, and maybe some other ones on the other day, and maybe we'll have a My Hero one with Chris Sabat on one day, and then we'll have a Dragon Ball Z one with him and Sean Schemmel on the next day. So there's a lot of really cool stuff to do. But if you spread it out over, at least 2 days, you should be able to get through everything that you want to do. But yeah, Saturday is going to be insanely packed. So set your expectations that if you're there to meet Sean Schemmel and Chris Sabat or Bryce Poppenbrook or any of those really popular ones, you're going to be in line for a while. And if you come on Friday, that's going to be a lot shorter. So just putting that out there. So yeah, spread it out. Chris is asking, how much did it financially impact STXCC? Was it a big loss or break even? No, it wasn't a loss. And we still, did okay. It wasn't, we still had to send 3,000 people away, basically. So that does, hurt. But no, it still went fine. Sunday was a bigger than usual Sunday. Friday was a bigger than usual Friday. It was just, it was tough because the fire marshal only was allowing, once we reached the 1,500 mark, right, 1,500 of people inside the convention center, the fire marshal was like, okay, 10 people have to leave before we let 10 more people out. But when the line is 4,000 people long outside, people started to leave after several hours, and I don't blame them. But that was the issue we were facing, is that well, thank you, Chris, I appreciate it. The issue was that it was out of our hands, we would have loved to have squeezed an extra 3,000 people in there. Trust me, that would have been amazing. But we weren't able to do it. But no, we're all right. We're definitely having next year. It didn't put us under by any means.
Nice. And I took some inspiration from the last time that we talked, right? And we were mentioning the show Hot Ones before we came on, because I did deep dive to that collector festival and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So I took one idea from Hot Ones, man, about explaining the Instagram, to explain some photos. So I took some photos that I found, just FYI.
Oh man.
And I was wondering if you could give us a little bit of background context.
A deep dive. Oh man. Yeah. All right.
It wasn't too bad. But
about to be some skeletons in the Ramsey closet right now.
Right?
Oh man. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
All right. This is going to be the first one here. Just explain to us what's going on, and if you remember specific dates and everything.
Okay. So this is, I believe this was last year, based on the banner that I see right there in the back. That is Zach Aguilar, and he is the voice of... Why am I blanking?
I know it.
Zach,
I'll let...
Say it, Jay.
Hey, no help.
Who? Oh, Tanjiro, that's right. From Demon Slayer. So he's Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, which I haven't watched, guys. I'm sorry. I'm behind on the Demon Slayer train. And yeah, he's meeting a bunch of people, but that you can see the lines, all the way against the wall was Sean Schemmel. His line was insane. I think right over there, with next to the guy in the red shirt, was Bryce, and his line was insane. All the lines were really wild. So, and the guests don't want to rush their fans either. They want to give you a good experience, so it does take a while before you get there. But yeah, this is probably on Saturday or Sunday. It could have been any of those days because they were both looking the same. So that's why we added an extra day, guys. So you can try to get your autographs early.
I was there that day, and like I say, it was crazy. And like I say, I was there for the Saturday. I know we had a customer of ours, David, that she waited with her son at Sancho's line, and she told me she was there for like 5-6 hours plus. I looked at her, I'm like, damn, and she's like, because that was the only day she was gonna be there, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, well, it's like, well, I hope her son got a really good experience with Sean Schemmel. Sure enough, he's like, yes, it went well. He was awesome. He signed every single pop he did.
Yeah, they're upset while they're waiting in line, but once they get the experience and they see that that it was everything they hoped for, it makes up for it. But definitely long lines. We came up with a new process. I kind of put my brain to work after Anime Fiesta last year, and came up with a new system for Comic-Con this year that made things run
like the way
super
you guys
smoothly.
You did the line now, which is actually it's very easy, very accessible, very simplified. It helps out a lot, especially with the bigger lines.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for this one as well, to make so if you went to Comic-Con, you saw how the lines worked. We have an area that we lovingly call the corral. All right, we're not calling anybody cows. We're just saying,
I don't know, man. I kind of felt like a cow, just saying.
Kind of, and it's lanes, and then we have them for each celebrity. There's signs there, so you know who you're waiting for, and the ushers come and get you and take you once there's room in the line in front of the celebrities, and that way, we're not blocking all the vendors. That was one thing that that I wish we could have done better in last year's Anime Fiesta, is how to manage the lines, but we didn't know it was going to be that huge. It was crazy. Like, we weren't expecting it to be like Comic-Con numbers almost. So
the lines were pretty ridiculously big. I know, like, you were trying. Yeah, I know, like, a lot of your people were like saying, okay, who you're for, because you had no idea who was for who. It was for
Yeah,
this actor, for this actress. It was just it
it
was
had
literally
never gotten like
all over
that
the place.
before. It was always more manageable, but as of last year, I was like, okay, if this is the future, I got to plan for it. So we have that crowd control area now, and it should run smoother, but you're still going to be waiting. So yeah, just know, guys, split up your autographs, split them up over multiple days. Friday is probably going to be your best bet to go and meet these people and get more time. Not only are you going to get through the lines way quicker, you're going to be able to spend more time probably with a celebrity there, with your favorite voice actor, because he's not so rushed with, 1,000 people waiting. So, excuse me.
Very, very true. And then the next one I have, man, let's just see what's going on with this one. This one took me a little bit to dig up here. So.
Weird magazine and weird radio. Yeah, that was
Damn, David, where the hell you dig that one up from?
Hey, bro, I'm good at what I do, sir. I'm very good.
That was oh wow, February 4th, 2005. That's my buddy Russell. So back in the day, I quit my advertising agency job, and I met this crazy dude, and I was starting a magazine for like rock music and local music and art and stuff like that. And he was starting a magazine about aliens and government conspiracies. And he's like, bro, what if we mash them together? And I was like, screw it, let's go, And so we created Weird Magazine. So anything rock and roll related or art related, that was me. Anything UFOs or conspiracies, that was him. And it was kind of like we had like a Mulder and Scully relationship, like with X-Files. He was Mulder, he believed everything, and I was Scully, I believed nothing, or very little of it. Not that I don't believe in aliens. I do believe there's aliens out there somewhere, but when he's bringing me pictures of like the hubcap from the 60s that somebody threw in the air and saying, Billy Myers, the photos are real, and it looks like a hubcap. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I think the aliens would have better craftsmanship than that. So things like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great times. We did about, I don't know, maybe 2 years or something like that before it just got too crazy, dude. Like he went like real deep into government conspiracies, and I was seeing like, black SUVs following me around town, and I was like, what the hell, dude? I'm out, dude. And so I went, took my portion, called it Magazine X or Mag X, and just did the music and the art and touring bands and stuff like that. And so I did that for like 70 issues or 60 issues or something like that. And then started the conventions, and I was teaching at the time, and I had Kaboom. And I had to let go of something because it was like I was getting like 3 hours sleep every night. So I had to let go of the magazine, and I still have a tattoo on my back of the logo. But it was so much fun. And yeah, that was Weird Radio. So we had a radio component to the magazine, to Weird Magazine. And the only station that would give us airtime, because it was real wild stuff, right, was an AM station. It was like a Spanish station, like right there on 10th Street. And now I think it's like a I don't know, they sell like burgers or something, I don't know. And it was an AM station, and they were like, yeah, man, give us $300 and you can have a show every Wednesday. And we're like, all right. So our goal was to go and get $300 worth of advertisers just to be able to do this show. But we were interviewing some really, really crazy, awesome guests. We had Jim Mars. He wrote what was that movie about the killing of JFK? It was based on his book. Plus, he's also a big proponent about aliens and stuff. We interviewed a guy named Bart Seabrill, who was I think he was the guy that. Not Buzz Lightyear, Buzz Aldrin. I think Buzz Aldrin, was it Buzz? One of them, one of the astronauts punched him because he was like, the moon landing was fake, but he had all this like stuff that was like, is it? Yeah. And so we interviewed him every week for, I don't know, about 2 years. We would, and we'd also like, it was always we'd have a live band on there. That would come in and perform. Any local bands, they'd come in and perform acoustic. And then we'd have like the second hour would be like the basically, have you ever heard Coast to Coast AM? It's like a radio show about aliens and stuff. It comes out super late night. No?
My goodness,
No.
I'm not up
Coast
that
to
late, man.
Coast? No? So, okay. So it was kind of like a budget version of
I'm
that.
guessing Chris. I get the Chris remember
Buzz. Yeah, Buzz punched him. Yeah, so we had Bart Siebel on there, and a lot of really, really interesting guests. And like I said, I was always the Scully of the situation, so I only believed like little bits and pieces there. But Russell was like, "Nah, man, it's all true, all of it, every conspiracy, every alien encounter, you know."
So what do you think now, since aliens are released now from the government?
Swear to fucking
I
Christ,
mean,
dude.
it's
I
always,
knew you were gonna freaking bring
you
that
know,
up.
it's
I don't know.
always like, well, I believe this person's testimony, you know. So this guy, this latest thing, it was like, well, I believe the testimonies that I heard, but it's like, okay, bring me a damn alien, bro. Show me
Right?
show me a damn Bigfoot, bro. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
they've gotten away so long with no photos. Come on, dude. Satellites and stuff. You can't find me a damn Bigfoot or a chupacabra. Come on, you know.
That's true.
But is there aliens out there? I'm sure. Have they visited Earth? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I'm huge into like space and planets and stars and all that stuff. So give me my hoverboard, exactly. You know, give me some superpowers. Damn aliens, come zap me with a ray gun or something. You know, give me a super suit. Something.
And then I just got one more for you, man. Let's just see.
All right, let's go.
This
let's
one's
go.
not
What
too
else
bad,
we
I
got?
promise. This one's pretty good. So this was another one I pulled from.
All right, yeah, dude. Okay, so that's Bryce. There on the I guess right hand side if you're looking at your screen, doing
Swear to
the
God, that guy has
Attack on
lungs.
Titan, huh? And I think that's
that guy has lungs.
yeah for sure, dude. And that's Trina. She's it's Mikasa and Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, the voices, and yeah, that was their panel. And we always love to snap a picture of them, you know, in front of the crowd and put it up. And yeah, we have thousands of pictures. And eventually, I'm gonna create albums either on our website or on Facebook or somewhere, and upload all these pictures because we take, you know, thousands of pictures on that weekend. You know, hundreds and hundreds of cosplay pictures. But you know, throughout the weekend, we're only able to upload a few here and there. And I have years and years worth of that stuff. So I need to start creating albums and putting them up there so people can kind of look at them and reminisce.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell you that I noticed in every Anime Fest, man, it was just packed in every picture that I was looking at. And I was like, this is the emphasis I wanted to be, like, you know, going from a 2-day to a 3-day show, people have to take advantage of it. You know,
Yeah.
like if you want to get that full
Exactly.
experience.
And I'm not trying to say this to like get an extra ticket out of you. I'm saying this to save you frustration because especially on Sunday, guys, these celebrities, they have to fly out. They have to catch their flight to be able to get back to work on Monday. And if they miss that flight, they're gonna lose out, you know, maybe, I don't know, on jobs for voice acting and stuff. So they have to leave. And unfortunately, McAllen doesn't have super late flights, you know. So they're all gonna leave by like 5:30. Around that time, we end up closing about 6 or 7. But they also have to go and pack, get their stuff, and then be at the airport on time, you know. So there was people still in line for Bryce that were like, "What? He's leaving?" And he's like, "Guys, I'm sorry, I have to fly out," you know. And same thing with Sean and everybody. So people were upset, like, I didn't even get to meet him, you know. And so we had an extra day. And I'm gonna try to, you know, say this on every Facebook page we have. If you can, and if you're there to meet the guests, spread it out over a couple days. Make sure Friday is one of those because Saturday is going to be insanely packed. And if last year, you know, was any kind of proof, so is Sunday. So and then they're gonna have to fly out by like 4:30 maybe. And to get there by 5:30 to be able to, you know, to get back home. So,
It's one of those things that, you know, speaking from experience, like from us doing the Comic-Con, me being like, you know, attending myself, getting autographs, you know, it's good to go on an earlier day. Yes, Saturday, it's a you know,
Yeah. Go
don't even bother
if
with
you
it.
want to be if you want to be in the
Yes.
crowd, go on Saturday just
Yeah.
to be in the crowd, you know. But
No,
if you want to meet some celebrities, go on Friday, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot, you know, better time. Then you'll have a ton of time to shop the vendors and do other stuff, attend the panels on Saturday. So yeah, and as it grows, you know, if you think about San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con or any of those, like when you're trying to get into Hall H, for example, for the Marvel movie, you know, panels, everybody doesn't get into those. It's like a lottery or something. And it's like,
Yeah.
did you pick? Were you sleeping outside the door, you know, overnight to be able to get into those? I remember like people would sleep outside the door of that Hall H overnight to get into like the Game of Thrones ones, you know. So I mean, we're not there yet, but it's starting to get more packed than we, you know, could have thought it would have. So make sure to spread it out over multiple days. Fridays is going to be a great day to get autographs. And Saturday is going to be packed. So if you want to wait in line, you're 5 hours there, you know, then go only on Saturday. But if you know, want to wait an hour or two, maybe go on Friday, and then you have all the rest of the weekend to be able to do all the other stuff there.
If you value space, if you're claustrophobic, do not go on Saturday.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And then there's that too. Like, you know, sometimes people are like, "Well, I didn't know that was gonna be that many people." It's like, okay, it's a Saturday. Like, that's always gonna be the big day for whatever, for the movies, for anything you do. Saturday is always gonna be the big day. So plan around that. If you have, you know, issues with claustrophobia or anything like that, definitely a Friday or a Sunday is better. And now that we have the Friday, it's probably going to be better than the Sunday as far as being able to get around and do the things you want to do.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Well, looking forward to it. We'll definitely I'll clip it for the promoting Friday. But besides that, anything else you want to let everybody know before we sign off here for the night?
Nah, appreciate you guys having me on here, and yeah, just heed my warnings, guys. Friday is a good day. You're gonna have a good time if you go on Friday to get your autographs, and then just go enjoy Saturday for the panels and the vendors and everything else. So
yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things. Like if you haven't bought your tickets yet, you know, for Anime Fiesta, it's a show you do not want to miss. 17 guests, amazing guests all around from anime, from like Spy Family, My Hero Academia, Naruto, Boruto, Dragon Ball, you name it, there's an anime for you guys right there available.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be an amazing show. Like, trust me, I have 5 autographs I need to get. Hopefully I can find some prints, some nice prints. Of course, I have like, you know, some cards I want to get signed as well. So trust me, I'm gonna be spending a lot of money there just on the actors.
Another one I need to watch is One Piece, dude. I hear One Piece is so good. But
so I never saw One Piece. I never saw One Piece, but I had to see the one episode everybody was going crazy for.
Okay, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me. It's what episode?
If I had to say one word, if I had to say one thing about it, very Looney Tune.
Oh really? All right.
Very Looney Tune.
All right.
So that's like literally the only thing I have to say about it. It's like, you know, it's just very Looney Tune-esque. But
cool.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, it's like I said, I had to see that one episode. I saw it. It's good. I like it. But like I said, for me, never seeing One Piece and then seeing that, and then me saying that one explanations is kind of shows like how it's gonna progress, especially because Warner Brothers Media is actually animating for that show now.
Really?
Because of that transformation.
Wow. Well,
So
I definitely need to watch it. Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you for joining us, guys, and then we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cool.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.